We know that Egyptians believed in an afterlife and that they filled their tombs with objects that were to help them in the afterlife. They believed that the objects served a specific purpose, and they also believed that some of them might actually come to life and help them in the afterlife. And this is an example of a terracotta sculpture that would have been created in about 3650 BCE. So again, it's about 6,000 years old. The bottom part has been painted, and you can see that the top hands have been broken off a little bit so that it hasn't survived completely intact. This is a sculpture made out of limestone, and 4,500 years ago it actually also would have included paint, but that paint has worn off over the last 4,500 years. It was very important to ancient Egyptians that their sculptures were made out of very durable materials because they wanted their artwork to last for an eternity, which is how long they thought the afterlife would be. It would have been important to have a sculpture like this in your tomb so that your afterlife was easier than your life on earth. So this woman would have been an important sculpture because she is actually grinding grain so that she can make bread for you in the afterlife. This is a bronze statue of the sacred cat of Bastet. And Bastet was an Egyptian goddess, and she oftentimes is shown with the head of a cat. And cats were very much revered in ancient Egypt. They were loved pets, and they were very important because they protected the grain supply from mice. So they were an important animal for ancient Egyptians. They were so important that oftentimes the ancient Egyptians would actually mummify cats and put them inside the bodies of bronze statues such as this one. This is a cartonnage mummy case of a man named Ptolemon, who was a metal engraver and a priest. It is about 2,000 years old, and the way it would have been made is that the mummy would have been inside, and then strips of linen would have been placed in chalk and glue and wrapped around the mummy to create this case, kind of like what we do nowadays with paper mache. And after that happened, there would be scenes painted on the outside of the case to tell what should happen to Ptolemon in the afterlife. On the case you can see that Ptolemon's heart is being weighed against the weight of a feather, and if his heart is of equal weight or lesser weight to the feather, then he can actually move into the afterlife.